Children, for instance, are highly perceptive to picking up on tensions or unhappiness between the parents, which can only affect their emotional well-being in the long term. Hey guys, most of us have probably experienced this before, right? We get stuck in a relationship which we know isn't good enough for us for months, quite often years too long. We know we should get out, but we can't bring ourselves to do it. So why? Well, that's what this video is about. So here are the 6 reasons why people get stuck in bad relationships. Reason number 1, emotional manipulation. This is something which can often be subtle, making it very difficult to identify, but your partner might use tactics like guilt tripping, gaslighting, or playing the victim to control your actions and feelings. This can create a toxic cycle where you feel responsible for your partner's happiness, and it's this sense of obligation that can keep you tied to a bad relationship for years. But how does emotional manipulation manifest? Well, it can take many forms. It might be your partner making you feel guilty for wanting to spend time with your friends or your family, making you question your own judgment, or it could be more severe, like your partner threatening self-harm if you ever leave them. These tactics create an emotional maze that's really hard to navigate, leaving you feeling trapped in that relationship. This not only erodes your self-esteem, but also affects your other relationships and mental health. Reason number 2, low self-esteem. When you don't see your own worth, it can sometimes become easier to accept a relationship that doesn't treat you well. Low self-esteem can cloud your judgment, making you overlook red flags or excuse poor behavior from your partner. This lack of self-worth often stems from past experiences or a childhood upbringing. It can make you feel like you don't deserve love, respect, or happiness, trapping you in a cycle of settling for less. The danger here is that staying in a bad relationship can further lower your self-esteem, creating a vicious cycle that's really hard to break. Reason 3, financial dependence. Yeah, money can often play a critical role in why people stay in unhealthy relationships. If one partner controls all the finances, it can create a power imbalance that just makes kind of leaving the relationship seem really daunting. This is especially true if you don't have access to your own funds or if your financial well-being is tied to your partner's. But it's not just about control, it's about practicality. If you have children or a shared financial responsibility like a mortgage, the idea of splitting can seem not just emotionally but also financially overwhelming. The fear of not being able to make ends meet on your own can just be paralyzing. Financial dependence can trap you in a situation where you feel like you can't afford to leave, even if staying is detrimental to your well-being. If you find yourself in this situation, it's really important to seek financial advice, explore options like a separate bank account, or talk to a financial advisor if you can. Reason number 4, children or shared responsibilities. When kids are involved, the stakes are high, man, and the decision to leave becomes incredibly complicated at that point. The well-being of the children often becomes the primary focus, and many people, they just stay in unhealthy relationships to maintain a sense of family stability. I get it, but it's not just the children, it's also shared responsibilities like caring for a family member or joint business ventures, or even pets can make the idea of leaving a relationship really daunting. The irony is that staying for the sake of these responsibilities can sometimes do more harm than good. Children, for instance, are highly perceptive to picking up on tensions or unhappiness between the parents, which can only affect their emotional well-being in the long term. If you find yourself staying in a relationship for the sake of children or other shared responsibilities, it's essential to weigh the long-term impact of everyone involved. Sometimes, leaving might actually be the more responsible choice for the well-being of all parties. Reason number 5, fear of loneliness. It is absolutely a universal feeling. No one wants to be alone. The prospect of loneliness can be so daunting that it keeps people in relationships that they know aren't good for them. We've probably all been there, right? The idea of coming home to an empty house, not having someone to share your day with, or facing challenges alone can be overwhelming. This fear often intensifies if you've been in a relationship for a long time. You might start to wonder, who am I even without this other person? Or will I find happiness elsewhere? These thoughts can create this kind of mental barrier that makes the idea of leaving seem worse than staying. It's important to remember that being alone is not the same as being lonely. Sometimes staying in a bad relationship can actually be lonelier than being single. Reason 6, belief in change. Hope is powerful. It can sustain us through tough times, but it can also keep us stuck in unhealthy situations. The belief that your partner will change, that things will get better, can make you overlook serious issues in the relationship. Take a minute to think about how difficult it is every year to follow through with your New Year's resolutions, and you can start to appreciate how difficult it will be to change your partner, especially if they haven't shown any willingness to try in the past. The danger here is that this mindset can cause you to ignore red flags and signs of incompatibility, which can lead to long-term unhappiness. I hate to say it, but your default assumption needs to be that they won't change. And if they do, most likely it won't happen in the way that you need it to for the relationship to be healthy. If you find yourself clinging to the hope that they will change as the main reason to stay in your relationship, I urge you, take a step back, assess the situation objectively, or speak to a trusted friend or family member that can give you their opinion. Breaking free from any of these reasons isn't easy. It often requires professional help, such as counseling or therapy, and a strong support network. If you find yourself in any of these situations, know that you're not alone and that help is available. So there we have it. It's a complex issue, and every situation is unique, but understanding these reasons can be the first step in making healthier relationship choices. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more relationship content.